The former Rutgers student Dharun Ravi sentenced to 30 days in jail by the New Jersey judge. You remember that he spied on his roommate's gay tryst. I guess he put it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever it was. And then the subject of his video killed himself after watching this video or seeing it on social media. I guess he checked it 37 times before he killed himself, jumped to the George Washington Bridge there, and the 20-year-old guy who did this, put it on Facebook, is convicted of a hate crime. 30 days in jail by a New Jersey judge. Kevin O'Malley is with us from Butzel Long, an attorney. What's your reaction to the length of that sentence, or non-sentence, as it were?
Well, you know, I feel for everybody here, but what Judge Berman was doing was trying to do almost like a Solomon-like trying to split the baby decision. He knew he had to. He got a punishment here, but boy, considering the fact that this young man had already been convicted of intentional invasion of privacy and bias intimidation, seems a little light.
Does, doesn't it? Now, it's interesting because Michael Lepp, our producer, who's young, you know, he's of the Facebook era, if you will. You felt that was too much of a sentence.
Yeah, I actually saw a Dateline special on it and got to see a little bit of him personally, I guess, as much as you can. And it just seemed that it was way overblown and more of a way to set a standard for other college students in dorms.
30 days not going to scare anybody, though, is it, Counselor?
Well, there's a few other components of it. There's 300 hours of community service, mandatory cyberbullying counseling, and $10,000 in fines.
Hardly enough to make up for a life, though.
Very true. And, you know, what is being punished here, too, is, you know, I think that Mr. Ravi, not even once, and this is huge in the judge's decision, did he apologize.
Really, I was going to ask you that because obviously the family of the victim, the poor guy who jumped off the bridge, had a tearful appeal to the judge for prison time. And does the judge allow himself to be influenced by that kind of appeal? What's the point of doing that if not?
Well, you kind of wonder whether the judge it hasn't made his mind up when he walks in. But
yeah, you would think.
I've spoken to quite a few, and a lot of them have said that couple minutes leading up to the actual sentence has caused them to go one way or another.
No kidding.
And of course, there were tearful cries from both Tyler Clementi's parents and you know the Dharun Ravi's parents. So, but he really focused in fact, twice in his opinion on the fact that there was never ever an apology.
I find that strange because those of us who are novice think that the law must be black and white. It must an apology. What's an apology? It doesn't do anything for the law when as it's written, but I guess it does.
I think it really does in something like this, where the conviction is kind of fuzzy, if you will, too. Remember, he wasn't convicted of a hate crime. He was convicted of bias intimidation, which is almost quasi, and intentional evasion of privacy. And I think what it got down to with this judge is that all of us, no matter who we are, when we close that door of our home, of our apartment, we expect a certain right of privacy. And not only was that violated, but it was how he further violated that by enlisting social media. I think his point was really, I'm better than you.
So let me ask you, this is a dumb question, it's a serious topic, but let's say we're on the golf course, and you know that for men on a golf course, they don't always wait for the restroom, okay, because there's woods. Let's say we're fooling around, we're in a foursome, one of our friends is doing his business by a tree, pop out our little video thing, take a video, think it's funny, put it on Facebook, hey, there's, Governor Milliken having a leak. This is the same thing. You can't really do that. That's not decent.
That's in a public place, though. That's the difference. This guy was in the privacy of his own home.
But it's a stupid thing to do.
It is. It
violates decency.
It does violate decency, but I think what kind of pushes this one over the edge is, for lack of a better term, one is stupid and with the intention of being funny. There's just an underlying meanness to the action.
It was wicked, wasn't it?
I'm better than you, and I'm going to show everybody
humiliate
else.
You.
Yes, humiliate you, destroy you.
We'll continue. I want to ask you if you can stay for just a couple more minutes, a somewhat related story, and that'll be in just a minute or two. It's Michigan's Big Show. Kevin O'Malley is with us from Butzel Long. His office is high above the Capitol building here, but they have offices all across the state, too, and in Detroit, where we're heard on WDTW 1310 AM. It's Michigan's Big Show. Michael Patrick Shiels back in a flash.